Thank you, Mama, and thank you, Puna. There were two big things that came this morning, so I'm just letting come through what one I want to share. Every morning I look to the east before the sun, and when the sun rises, actually the earth turns and we see the sun, I receive the seeds. And I just listen and receive. And this time there was such a strong visual. It was almost like my ancestors pulled me back, and one was human and one was four-legged. So I'll share with the human said, which was my grandmother. And all of a sudden I saw her and I was back in her home and I was 4 years old. Me and my two sisters, one younger and one older, were spending the weekend. And she said that Saturday she was going to get us up before the sun rose and we're going to go by her garden. And so we did that. No questions. We always wanted to do what my grandmother wanted. But we went out and it was dark and we stood by her garden where she had a lot of sunflowers. And in standing there, we looked as the sun came up and the sunflowers were facing the sun. And every hour we spent 5 minutes in silence, just being with the sunflowers, which meant being with the sunflowers and the sun. And you can imagine just all day long we turned. I didn't want to go to lunch because I just really wanted to be with the flowers. That connection, that sense of being connected both to the sun and to the flowers. And then it became nighttime and she said we had to come in and eat. So we went in and ate. And then to our surprise, she said, we're going out. And we're like, this is Missouri. It's very humid. There's no moon out. The sun obviously is gone. And we're okay, but it's grandma. So our second grandma, we just did what she said. And so we went out. She had a flashlight in her hand. She didn't turn it on. And we went out and realized we were all holding hands. And then when she turned on the light, we were circled facing each other. And she took the light and pointed it over to the sunflowers. And the sunflowers were all facing each other. And then we went in. And my grandmother, I imagine a lot of things are going through your mind. My grandmother never debriefed or told us what things mean. She just trusted our dignity, our intelligence, even when we were little. And to this day, many, many decades later, as a much older person, I know with the suffering that Puna's talking about, and there will be more, and we are to look to the sun, to the east, and know we're part of the light. And even in the darkest dark, we are to look at each other because we are the light as well. And I'm just really grateful. So there's some sadness, but mostly it's tears of joy for my grandmother to come to me in such a clear way to give you this message. So I thank you, Puna and Mamo and Prashna and everyone for allowing me to share the wisdom of my Aztec grandmother, the wisdom of the sun, and the wisdom of the sunflowers, all of which we are a part. Aho.